Joining us now is former naval intel guy and one of our best guests when it comes to trying to drill down on some of these geopolitical questions is John Jordan. John, thanks so much for being with us. Over the last 24 hours, we've been looking at examples where we may want to consider rethinking our position in the world, where we come out so strong and maybe the consequences are not ending up in our favor. We talked, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, about Huawei. Its sales are up despite the fact that we're hammering them. And in this case, something I wanted to ask you about, President Putin seems to be going around making more sales of his S-400, for example. And does that have to do with the fact that he's able to poke a lot of his neighbors, India, Turkey, China, and say, look at what the United States is doing. You better buy from us. Is this a problem? What do you see?
Well, I wouldn't characterize what President Putin is doing as poking. It's far more shrewd and sophisticated. It's statecraft in the most sophisticated sense. When you sell a weapons system abroad, people just think, oh, it's a one-time transaction. I sold an F-35 or I sold an S-400. Actually, what you're doing isn't too much different from what a HP or the printer companies do. When you go buy a printer for cheap at maybe Office Depot or Office Max, and then you find out later that the cost of all of the cartridges over a period of not too long exceeds the cost of the printer. HP and those companies are making money on the maintenance and the cartridge replenishment. So it is with weapons systems. Here, when you sell the initial system, eventually all the spare parts, because these things break all the time, require maintenance, training, upgrades. So you're building in a revenue stream over a long period of time. So it's not just the one-off sale. The second piece of this, which is why this is so shrewd what President Putin is doing, is when you sell a system into a country or you sell a family of systems, you are in essence building in a quasi-veto power over whether or not that country goes to war, and if they do, how they do it. Because all you have to do is withhold the parts and the sustainment package and the training, and then it's difficult for these countries, for those client countries, to use those systems.
It's a cutoff factor. You and I were talking on the phone earlier, and you explained that to me, and I think that's really fascinating because it empowers you. It's not just that you made a sale to somebody. It's that somebody, in this case a country, has to continue to have that relationship with you if they want to continue using that piece of equipment that they laid out, or shelled out, as we like to say, so much damn money for, right?
Absolutely. It is, not only that, and you're making money when you're doing it. So the Russians doing this is very, very shrewd. They're growing their political and diplomatic footprint immeasurably and making money to boot.
If countries really loved America, as they have at times throughout our history, and felt, as we call in business, a relationship with America, would that not make them less apt to want to deal with a guy like Putin?
Well, there's been countries that are longtime client states of the United States, and they're longtime client states of Russia. And that's kind of always been the case. You and I don't always agree necessarily on a lot of things, Rick. Yeah. This is probably one of them. In this case, the big buyers of U.S. weapon systems are the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Australia. They constitute more than half of U.S. arms sales. The Russians have had their traditional customers as well. So I'm not sure there's a political tea leaves to read into this. It's everybody has their customers, and everybody's trying to grow market share.
All right. Well, one of the great things about the fact that we don't agree on things is that that's why I think our segments are good, and it's why we think you're a great guest, and we keep having you back on. John Jordan, thank you, my friend, for joining us and talking about this. Appreciate it. So you haven't heard that we're the ones covering the stories that you won't see covered anywhere else? In Venezuela, Kazakhstan, let's go to Hong Kong. And the media reaction to that has been crickets. How about the way we cover those stories? What the hell does that mean? Huawei, Huawei, Huawei. That's the key word in this case, uprising. Keep? Can you believe that? Watching. This is the right thing for members of the media to do, to actually pick sides. Look, if you like what you see, subscribe.